This is a live look at nearly empty Panama City Beach, which is rare on a Memorial Day weekend. People there avoiding the high surf, making preparations for Alberto. And it largely spared the Suncoast except for some minor flooding and high surf at area beaches. In canceled Memorial Day events, we have reaction from the community. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC7 News at 6.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Jacqueline Matter is off tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Topping our news this evening, subtropical storm Alberto making landfall in the Florida Panhandle a short time ago. State officials preparing a week in advance, and today Governor Rick Scott confirming more than 5,000 members of the National Guard are on standby and will be activated if needed. This is another live look at Panama City Beach right now, where people are enjoying the beach even though the water is closed to the public. Governor Rick Scott in Jacksonville warning Floridians to get prepared only days away from the official start of hurricane season.
This is the beginning of hurricane season. Everybody's got to start the process of getting prepared. 3 days of water, 3 days of food, have your medicine, know your evacuation routes, all these things. You can go to floridadisaster.org to make sure you get it prepared. But I can tell you right now, the state's prepared.
We were very fortunate with this storm, but its impact will last a little longer here on the Suncoast. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan and our first alert weather forecast tonight. Bob?
Yeah, we were lucky. We missed the majority of the storm, but right now we're actually feeling the strongest winds of the entire event. At the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport, we had a tropical storm force wind gust just about 2 hours ago at 4 p.m. up to 43 miles an hour. This is a look at the Casey Key webcam, and we'll take you to the live and latest frame here in a minute. But this was at 11 o'clock. We had some sunshine out there and some waves, wave action very high. That's causing the red flag warnings for area beaches due to the high surf and the rip currents that are occurring up and down area beaches. Now, as we move through time, you'll see those waves don't go away, and in fact, they're still fairly strong out there. That's at 6:01. The storm made landfall, and Alberto, that should be Alberto, made landfall at Laguna Beach, Florida. Rain chance stays elevated for us as some moisture continues to stream northward, and rip currents, dangerous rip currents, will stay with us for the next couple of days at least. Well, there's the visible satellite imagery of Alberto, kind of spinning with some dry air in it, not a lot of deep convection with it, but top winds were at 45 miles an hour. That's the latest from the National Hurricane Center. Its forecast path and track will continue on this north to northwesterly course and eventually bend off to the northeast throughout the Ohio Valley. So we're done with that. That will be weakening, but these showers and storms are still fairly significant here out in the Gulf of Mexico, and you can see they're getting dangerously close to Pinellas County. There's a special marine warning in effect, and this is just a few miles off the coast of Anna Maria right now, and that contains some pretty gusty winds up to about 40 miles an hour for mariners out there. I mentioned the small craft advisory remains in effect for us, as well as that special marine warning where we could see winds up to 40 miles an hour with some of those cells. Scott, back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. The threat of Alberto caused organizers to cancel several Memorial Day events here on the Suncoast, but some believe those events should have still taken place even if there were some storms in the area. ABC7's Erica Jackson joins us live from Sarasota's Bayfront to share why organizers stand by their decision. Erica?
Scott, good evening. It's a bit breezy out here right now. Event organizers were more concerned about heavy rain, thunder, and lightning. A rally to honor our fallen heroes was set to take place this morning here at Bayfront Park. A parade in downtown Sarasota and Memorial Day celebrations in the city of Venice were also canceled today.
It's not just a celebration. It's not a barbecue day. There's meaning behind it.
Iraq War veteran Ryan Simonson honors 4 of his fallen brothers every day by carrying dog tags with their names. But once a year, he wants to include his sons in the tribute. So the boys visit Sarasota National Cemetery on Memorial Day.
I like to come out and just do a little more quiet reflection than necessarily being, in a large group.
But some prefer the populated setting. It's a tradition for thousands of families to line the streets of Venice, Sarasota, Northport, and Bradenton for annual Memorial Day celebrations. But subtropical storm Alberto threatened several events, causing organizers to cancel. Some relatives of servicemen and women argue the threat of storms is an unacceptable reason to call off the tributes.
I can't imagine. I don't never want to forget what they gave for us They didn't think about the weather, did they?
According to Sarasota-based group Adorable Deplorables for Trump, it canceled its Memorial Day rally for safety reasons.
It's the dangerous driving in those heavy rains, so that was a factor. Their safety on the road, especially people long distance.
Safety was also a top concern for organizers of Sarasota's parade. Dan Kennedy with the city's Patriotic Observance Committee says 60 police officers were scheduled to provide security for the event, but he didn't want to risk the safety of the rest of the city during possible storms. Simonson respects that decision and believes Americans have the freedom to honor the fallen how and when they choose.
That's really the beauty of it, isn't it? So the sacrifices that the people around us made kind of give us the ability to honor, to not honor.
Now, Scott, this was the first time in 30 years the city of Sarasota had to cancel its Memorial Day parade, but some veterans took it upon themselves to host an informal march down Main Street in downtown Sarasota to show their respects. Reporting live at Bayfront Park, Erica Jackson, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Erica, thank you. One of the busiest locations in the area this holiday, not the beaches, it's Sarasota National Cemetery on Clark Road, where thousands of servicemen and women have been laid to rest. We spoke with some families there today about who they were visiting and why, like James Chester, a World War II combat veteran and father, or Herbert Welch, a brother and Vietnam veteran who passed away just a few months ago. Their families describe mixed emotions on this day. When they see the headstones, there's a shared sense of comfort.
What they did is not in vain, and it gives us freedom.
I'm very proud of him, and I'm proud that he was my dad, and I miss him, but I love that he's here.
Sarasota National Cemetery is the final resting place for more than 18,000 and space for even more. In other news tonight, an armed robbery shooting suspect is on the loose this evening. It happened late last night at a home on 60th Avenue Drive West in Bradenton. Deputies say they found 20-year-old Trenton Brown in the front yard with a gunshot wound to the leg. They later learned Brown and another man allegedly robbed the victim at gunpoint. Deputies say Brown fired at the victim and then he shot back, hitting him in the thigh. A neighbor heard 5 gunshots and ran over to help the victim.
And what I did was I got my belt and wrapped it around his thigh, and he was screaming, but you know, you had to do the right thing.
Brown is charged with armed robbery and aggravated assault with a firearm, and again, that second suspect remains at large. Still to come in your Suncoast News, a clown attack at a pizza shop. We'll show you how the employee defended himself. And the city of Venice watching the Venice Pier closely during the stormy weekend, but some don't want it to close completely for needed repairs.
Don't allow your weight to threaten your health or control your future. Excess weight or obesity can cause emotional and physical health risks. But you can take control. The Your Weight Matters campaign offers free resources and tips to help you measure and understand your weight. Take the Your Weight Matters Challenge. The free toolkit prepares you to speak with a healthcare provider about your weight. Your weight does matter. Take the challenge and take control today.
You want a Maserati, but you need an SUV. Why not have both? Levante, the Maserati of SUVs.
Experience it at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
My My credit score was not that great.
I didn't understand what went into my credit score.
It was overwhelming.
Do you want to attain better credit health but don't know where to start? Credit Sesame can help by providing you a free credit score.
I love the app. It's so easy to use. It's like having your own financial coach.
Credit Sesame broke my credit score down into things that I understood, and it made me think I can do this.
And the awesome thing about Credit Sesame, it's free.
It's 100% free.
You don't need to go it alone. Get started today at creditsesame.com.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
I'll be right back.
Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
Police near Daytona Beach are investigating after a pizza restaurant employee shot and killed an attacker. This happened just before midnight Saturday in the small town of Holly Hill. Surveillance video shows the employee locking up the restaurant after it closed and then someone attacking him with a wooden stick. Police say the suspect was wearing a clown mask at the time. The employee had a gun and shot and killed his attacker. Police say the employee does not face any charges as of now. Coming up, subtropical storm Alberto now making landfall in the Florida Panhandle. Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with an update right after this.
Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru vehicles hold their value better than any other brand for 2018, according to ALG. And Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Forester is an IIHS top safety pick for 12 years running, and right now, you can lease a new Subaru Forester for just $229 a month, or get 0% financing with 0 down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
On average, an American household with at least one credit card struggles with over $15,000 in credit card debt. But right now, if you qualify for National Debt Relief's Debt Reset program, your debt balances and monthly payments will be reduced while you become debt-free in 24 to 48 months. Enroll now and there won't be any upfront costs or out-of-pocket expenses. To qualify for the Debt Reset program, you must have at least $10,000 or more in credit card debt, unsecured loan debt, collection debt, and/or medical bills. You must also be past due or struggling to make minimum monthly payments or considering filing for bankruptcy. If this sounds like you, avoid the serious consequences of bankruptcy and take advantage of National Debt Relief's Debt Reset program today and become debt-free in 24 to 48 months. Call now to see if you qualify. A debt relief counselor is available to assist you 24 hours a day.
Call 800-731-6432. That's 800-731-6432.
Did you know that a dirty CPAP system can make you sick? If you knew what could be growing in your mask and hose, it would keep you up at night. Now SoClean.com has released the world's first and only automated hands-free CPAP cleaner and sanitizer. With its patented design, SoClean is fast, effective, and hands-free, killing 99.9% of all CPAP germs. Try SoClean now through this special TV offer free for 30 days. Just call 800-604-0398.
My health has improved. It's simple to use, and I'm not worried about infections.
SoClean works on all CPAP machines and popular masks, destroying CPAP bacteria, viruses, and germs without the daily hassle of washing your system by hand. Just place your mask in, close the lid, and in just minutes, voila! Sanitized and ready to use. Try SoClean risk-free for 30 days. This is a limited time offer. Call now, 800-604-0398. Or visit SoClean.com today.
Army National Guard soldiers serve to give back to their country and their community. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for benefits such as health and life insurance, education benefits, and retirement and VA home loan benefits. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Bob is back, and I don't think anyone is complaining that maybe Alberto wasn't quite what we thought it could be.
Right, it could have been a lot worse.
Sure.
Obviously, we were only anticipating really the heavy rainfall. We never really saw that. We had some winds, not that strong as expected. The National Hurricane Center put us under that tropical storm watch and then warning, simply because there was a chance it could have shifted a little bit further east, and we would have been in those stronger winds. And even those weren't going to be strong, but we had our strongest wind, surprisingly, just a couple of hours ago, which is pretty amazing. These things can shift and move and do different things, and we don't have a total 100% handle on them quite yet in terms of forecasting those. And in fact, if you look at statistics, the 4 times that you may be warned due to a tropical system, only one of those 4 times is it going to have an impact on your area. That's not very good average, but that's where we stand right now. Well, the GOES 16 satellite imagery showing that center of circulation really kind of void of any kind of significant storms. It was a tale of 2 storms, really. One was basically a subtropical storm trying to become tropical. On top of that, it wasn't a very big rainmaker for us, but boy, over 2 feet of rain fell into Cuba, and it's still happening there. We'll show you that in a minute. You can see the storm system spinning. It started to develop some convection near the center, trying to get to that tropical status, but the warm core has to be all the way through the center of the system. It has to have a lot of circulation and actual thunderstorms around the center on top of that, and it never really established that. It doesn't look like a true tropical system, and that's what we saw with that one. Well, the Casey Key webcam, this is the big concern now. We were expecting these, and this has happened. Rip currents up and down area beaches, tough beach-going weather for swimmers. In fact, it was off limits at the Siesta Key Beach today and all the beaches as a result of the high surf and the rip currents that were prevalent up and down the coast. And you can see this water is typically out here about 20 yards or so. So again, it's come up even at low tide right now. We're approaching low tide, and the tides are running about a foot above average for us right now. Well, we have a couple of feeder bands we have to keep an eye on. This one in particular that's now moving into Pinellas County and getting very close to Anna Maria. This contains winds gusting as high as 40 miles an hour. Some heavy downpours too, and if you've got a drive or a trip planned along the Sunshine Skyway Bridge, it could be a little trouble over the next couple of hours or so as this band kind of works its way through. It's slowly moving to the east too, so if it does start to move into Anna Maria Island, I think it will eventually catch it. There's a chance it may not, but I think it will, as we're seeing with Pinellas County. Those showers will kind of work their way over the same area, so that could cause some concern with some localized street flooding there. But right now, it's about 7 miles offshore of Anna Maria Island. It'll take a long time before it kind of pinwheels in, if it does at all, later on this evening. Elsewhere across the area, we have a few showers developing into Hardy County, pushing off to the northeast. Another band trying to develop there. It's pretty strong up near north of Cape Canaveral. We have several watches and warnings in effect. Obviously, the tropical storm warning still remains in effect for parts of the Panhandle. A marine warning is in effect from Sarasota County northward through Tampa Bay, and a small craft advisory remains in effect for the entire area. Look at all this moisture still kind of traveling in our general direction. Boy, Cuba getting hit hard by more flooding rains there. Some very dry air, though. That's what happened. It kind of slipped right in and shut our rain chances down on Saturday and Sunday, but now that has backed off and moisture still in place. We have a pretty good chance of getting some rainfall, I think, on Tuesday and into Wednesday as well. Then we get back to more of a normal afternoon and evening pattern developing, but this particular model not indicating much rainfall for us at all. This next one, though, the European, showing some showers and storms around tonight, and then again through Tuesday and Wednesday. So we'll keep an eye on that. Our rain chances stay fairly high through this evening at 50% for coastal locations, and rain chance tomorrow 70%. Drops a little bit, but still high on Wednesday. At any time during the day, we could see some showers popping up, and then we get back to that 40-40 chance on Thursday and Friday. The weekend looks good, with a slight chance for a few scattered storms, a little bit warmer. Highs will be in the mid to upper 80s. Scott?
Bob, thank you. This weekend's storm did not stop hundreds from gathering at Ken Thompson Park in Sarasota to honor U.S. Marines and Navy members who lost their lives while serving at sea for our country. 65 reef balls were unveiled yesterday and used to honor the 65 U.S. submarines that never returned home from duty. Flags were given to family members of those who lost their lives on those subs. One eternal reef will be deployed at a reef site off Sarasota sometime next week. This is the first underwater memorial like this in our area. The ceremony also happening nearly 50 years to the day the U.S. nuclear submarine, USS Scorpion, was lost.
A lot of people would tell you that they were the first and only line of defense during World War II, shortly after Pearl Harbor, and they were the ones that kept us free for all those extra years. So it's really it's a way of us saying collectively thank you for the service.
Each memorial wreath weighs about 1,300 pounds. Well, if you had to stop for gas this holiday weekend, you probably noticed a big jump in prices. The national average for a gallon of gas, $2.79 right now, and about 30% higher than last Memorial Day weekend. A few factors as to why the higher prices: subtropical storm Alberto and sanctions against Iran. Memorial Day weekend is usually the peak for gas prices, but those prices are not expected to go down too much this summer, and that could lead to more drivers staying home. But we have your back here. We're keeping an eye on the best gas prices in the area. According to Gas Putty, here on the Suncoast, you can find the cheapest gas at the Citgo station on North Washington Boulevard in Sarasota for $2.85. In Bradenton, you can fill up for $2.87 a gallon. At Racetrack, that's on 12th Avenue East, and $2.84 a gallon on Tamiami Trail South. If you missed any of that, don't worry, we've got all these locations online. Just go to our website, mysuncoast.com. City of Venice is working on plans to rebuild the Venice Fishing Pier. That pier was damaged last year during Hurricane Irma. The city made minor repairs, but now wants to remove the decking and railings to rebuild it and make it safer. But the project could be delayed because city staff have been focused on a project downtown. And that's concerning to local businesses like Sharky's Restaurant and the Bait Shop at the pier. They would like to have the work done before the next tourist season because the pier is such a draw for people visiting the area.
If it does take a little bit longer than expected, I'm sure we'll find a way to roll with it. Really, the city's idea of getting it done as quick as possible is really what's going to be best, not only for the city, but for us.
The project will go out to bid next week. It will be up to the City Council to decide if the project should begin this year or next. Linda?
Coming up, we'll introduce you to some of the heroes of Manatee County. And here's a tip. Many of them are wearing skirts.
Almost every home here has sustained damage. We're glad you're okay.
Oh, thank you.
You could hear the gunfire. Around the corner here are the children back on the job.
Back in the job.
How are you?
ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
Get to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota for big savings during the Chrysler Pacifica Incredible Sales Event. Get KBB's 2017 Best Buy Award overall winner, the Chrysler Pacifica, for just $23,999. Or save big and get the new Chrysler 300 Touring with an MSRP over $30,000 for just $21,999. That's a savings of over $8,000. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota today.
Is your mop a dirty, disgusting mess? You need the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System, the only mop and bucket that spins the dirt away. A system that cleans practically anything and everything with super absorbent microfiber. Dip it in the washer side and the mess releases into the bucket. Then place it in the dryer side and push on the pedal. You get a clean mop head that's practically dry and ready for more. And your hands will never again touch a dirty, disgusting mop. The heads are washable and reusable. Get the Hurricane 360 Spin Mop System for just 2 payments of $19.99. You'll also get a Sticky Buddy, the reusable sticky roller that picks up pet hair and lint and washes clean in seconds. You can take advantage of our 2-for-1 Pick It Up special and get a second spin mop set. Just pay additional shipping and fee. And we'll upgrade you to free priority handling. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-394-1524 to get your Hurricane Spin Mop double offer. So hurry and call 1-800-394-1524. Call now.
Get all the local information you need before you leave home in the morning. Watch Good Morning Suncoast weekdays on ABC7 to get breaking news, plus first alert, weather, and traffic focused on where you live. ABC7, we're here for you.
My credit score was not that great.
I didn't understand what went into my credit score.
It was overwhelming.
Do you want to attain better credit health but don't know where to start? Credit Sesame can help by providing you a free credit score.
I love the app. It's so easy to use. It's like having your own financial coach.
Credit Sesame broke my credit score down into things that I understood, and it made me think, I can do this.
And the awesome thing about Credit Sesame, it's free.
It's 100% free.
You don't need to go it alone. Get started today at creditsesame.com.
Manatee Village Historical Park allows you to take a step back in time and learn about the history of Manatee County and Old Florida. ABC7's Linda Carson takes us back to a place before paved roads and electricity, and a place we call home.
Manatee Village Historical Park has an exhibit honoring some of the women in Manatee County's history who helped make this a great place to call home. It all started in what's called the Progressive Era.
From about 1890 to about 1920, women really kind of started to come into roles in social movements. They started to help participate in social activism and kind of became more leaders in the world outside of the home life.
Women's clubs and tea rooms became popular, and women began to focus on needed improvements in their community, so they took action.
They helped to organize the first libraries in a lot of their communities. They helped to organize beautification projects.
In 1886, the women of Manatee County actually planned and raised money for the first sidewalk.
When construction was supposed to start, the men were going to build the sidewalk. However, no one showed up, and so the women took it under their own control, picked up hammers and nails, and started to build the sidewalk themselves.
One of the women honored in the Manatee Village exhibit is Mary Gates. She and her husband were the first white settlers in Manatee County.
She ran a hotel with her husband, and after he died, she continued to run the hotel on her own.
Julia Astroff, known as Madam Joe, is also honored. She and her family were German immigrants who settled in Terracea.
She ran a general store and actually is known for growing the first pound of coffee in the United States.
In the early 1900s, women began to work outside the home. Telephone operators were exclusively female.
It was originally something that was done by young teenage boys, but they soon realized that women were a lot more polite, and so they started hiring women.
And nursing also opened to women. In 1945, Viola Welch became the first registered African-American nurse in Manatee County. And Mimi Rogers must be remembered.
She was an African-American woman who, with her husband, ran the first African-American funeral home. She became the first black director.
In 1920, Bertha Curry became the first woman in Manatee County to vote, but the county didn't elect its first female official until 1972. Women have been paving the way for development in Manatee County since long before that dress was in vogue. You can learn more about the role women have played here at the Manatee Village Historical Park. Linda Carson, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Great history lesson there.
That's right.
Thank you, Linda.
A few showers still possible through this evening. A little line trying to get close. Yeah.
Okay, Bob, thank you. Our next news is coming up at 7, but World News Tonight with David Muir is next. Have a good evening, everyone.